Out on the MoveQuest trail, out on the MoveQuest trail. I'm a hurricane wind in a tattered sail. Every step is a token, every mile is a win. I'm shedding the past and the original sin. On the trail, MoveQuest trail, through the fire. MoveQuest trail, higher and higher and higher. Check the map, I'm still moving. Hey. I ain't trading minutes for a paper wage. I'm writing my own story on a digital page. Every step is a heartbeat, every breath is a toll. I'm uploading the fire from the depths of my soul. The satellite is watching, the ledger's open wide. There ain't no room for lazy, and there ain't no place to hide. MoveQuest calling, the signal is green. I'm the most valuable motor in this whole machine. This is my proof of life, forged in the struggle and the daily strife. I'm moving to earn, I'm earning to grow. From the top of the mountain to the valley below. It's a blockchain bond that you cannot break. My sweat is the currency, my life is the stake. Proof of life. They used to say wealth was a suit and a tie, but a man in a cage is just waiting to die. Now the wealth is your health, is the law of the land. I'm holding my future in the palm of my hand. Verified movement, a signature, a bone. I'm reclaiming the power of the heavy unknown. This is my proof of life, forged in the struggle and the daily strife. I'm moving to earn, I'm earning to grow. From the top of the mountain to the valley below. It's a blockchain bond that you cannot break. My sweat is a currency, my life is a stake. Meant to milestone, meant to pain. Nothing to lose and a world to gain. Immutable, verifiable, unstoppable. A song, soul, electric guitar, solo. Lots of bands and high notes, keeping that song sticks and BPM energy high. This my proof of life. Forged in the struggle and the daily strife. I'm moving to earn, I'm learning to grow. From the top of the mountain to the valley below. Move on, earn your soul. Move on, take control. The Lazarus witness to the miles I've run. Prove alive. Verified. Verified.
Microphone testing, 1 2, testing 1 2. It looks like the mic is working good, and it's always good when the mic works the way it should. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another super cool, super fantastic, super Saturday event. The weekly broadcast that welcomes the A players, the champions, and those who are focused on achieving above average levels of success. Hayden Andre here, your friendly neighborhood digital asset investor, always energized, fully loaded, and ready for success. Today is March the 7th, 2026. We broadcast live, fixing it in the mix, right here on Zoom, spitting facts and making big stacks. The machine mode theme of today's A-player conversation is transformation. Transform life from tragic to magic. Transform life from breakdown to breakthrough. Transform your annual income into a weekly income. Now, that being said, I always remind myself before reminding anyone else, you can absolutely create your own economy. It all comes down to the decisions that you make, the actions that you take, and the way that you think. As always, today and every day, we invite you to do yourself a huge favor and let go of lack, let go of limitation, let go of scarcity. Those ways of being only attract more of the same. Make a commitment to yourself to focus on abundance, prosperity, affluence, and endless possibilities. You see, where focus goes, energy flows. Now, as you can imagine, the core of today's conversation is about success and how you can take action towards it right now. So thank you for taking time out of your schedule, out of respect for your time, and out of respect for all of those who showed up on time. Let's get right into it. Now, for those of you who are meeting me for the very first time, welcome to MoveQuest. My name is Hayden. My background is in recording engineering and music industry arts. I volunteer my time as a youth competitive football coach. Now, by the way, that's a bit of advance warning. The tone of a coach is always inviting you to win and tap into your inner greatness. Now, I'm also a crypto enthusiast and digital asset investor. In the next 5 to 7 minutes or so, we're going to highlight what many, including myself, see as an absolute chain breaker. So let's get some visuals to go with this conversation. Bear with me for a quick second while I do my best to share my screen. One quick second. Now, what we're going to do is light up a powerful conversation to set some context before we activate an A-player level of conversation later on in this afternoon. Now, the name of the platform that we're taking a look at here today is called MoveQuest, where you can get fit, where you can receive very valuable digital assets through a unique process called mining. And for those of you who are already fit, you're going to see how you can receive some additional reward for that discipline that you've had all of these years, achieving that extraordinary physique and overall health and well-being. You're also going to see how you can gain access to an incredible community, the #1 decentralized community on the planet, the MoveQuest Nation, building a successful future one step at a time. Now, this incredible platform was designed by an absolutely brilliant woman named Lynette Artin. She's the founder and creator of MoveQuest. You can learn more about MoveQuest by going to www.movequest.com. And we're going to hear from Lynette a little bit later on. Hint, hint. Yes, indeed. She is one of the special guests of this Super Saturday event. Now let's get back to the conversation. What is MoveQuest? Well, it is a state-of-the-art, decentralized application that can empower anyone, anywhere in the world to be able to receive digital assets and create something super important to achieving ultra high levels of freedom, and that is residual income. Residual income is the art of doing something one time, doing some work one time, and receiving value for that work multiple times long after you finish doing the work. Once you taste the sweetness of receiving value residually, you are going to lose appetite for any other way of receiving value. You see, one of the ways that artists, writers, record labels, and rock stars can live lifestyles that most people only dream about is because they are tapping into a flow of income known as royalties that behave just like residual income. We're going to show you how to do just that today. We're going to show you how you can download an app one time. Do the work to configure your device to work with the app one time. But from that moment forward, every single day, day after day, you can activate a flow of value into your life simply by tethering your movement to technology. Now, a quick disclaimer, health as well as financial, MoveQuest requires real work, real effort. Safety and best practices are an absolute must. You can take a screenshot of this slide. We're not going to spend time reading all of it, but it's important that you read to know exactly how MoveQuest operates. Very responsible. Now, that being said, MoveQuest is a move to earn app, and it's designed to help people be consistent when it comes to healthy physical activity by rewarding them with digital assets daily for staying physically active and for getting healthy levels of sleep. All activity counts, and all levels of activity can be profitable. You can literally transform your motion into money. The app can be downloaded at the iOS App Store, as well as Android's Google Play Store. Now, getting started is super easy. Okay, all you need is a device. Android or iOS, both technologies are fine. We're gonna also make sure that the health apps are installed properly on your phone. We're talking about Health Connect as well as Apple Health. And these apps already come pre-installed on most devices. In fact, the phone technology is already tracking and calculating healthy physical activity. The only difference is those who are not part of MoveQuest, you are not receiving value for that healthy physical activity. Maybe a psychological pat on the back, but nothing that you can take to the bank. We're also going to help you to see how you can acquire the technology that makes it all possible. The digital assets, revenue generating NFTs. And we're also going to show you how you can fund your wallet to make sure that you can process the transactions associated with participating in this project. Now, there are 6 stages to the entire start process. Every single stage is super exciting, super fun. You're going to open up a whole new world of possibilities. And for those of you who are new to digital assets, Web3, and blockchain, help is available. We got incredible step-by-step start guides, step-by-step videos. The person who invited you to this conversation will likely give you a helping hand. And we got an incredible customer support team that is on deck ready to help as well. We encourage you to prioritize safety, security, and best practices because no matter how great a project or opportunity is, it's important that you do the right things to get the right results. But once we complete all this, you can start moving and start receiving value for your healthy physical activity in the form of MoveQuest token, a digital asset. It goes by the ticker symbol of MQT. Now, one of the big questions that most people often ask when they see this project, because it looks good, and they say, well, what is this going to cost me? Well, the beautiful thing about all of this is that MoveQuest strives to be very inclusive. There is a start package to fit everyone's budget and everyone's situation. Anywhere from $0 purchase cost to whatever you are able to begin with. You can always evolve and upgrade as time moves forward and as your situation permits. Now, the next big question that is often asked is, well, this is powerful. How much money can I make? Well, that all depends on you. As previously mentioned, all levels of activity can be profitable. All levels of power that you participate with can be profitable. And for those of you that are very coachable, disciplined, and you can apply the strategy of deferred gratification, the income possibilities are unlimited. Shout outs to my 7-figure warriors out there. you know exactly what you're doing, participating the way that you are. Just tell me how much money you want to make, and I'll show you exactly what you have to do to achieve it. It's all mathematics. The cool thing is, though, there is no service or product to sell here. There is no recruiting or team building as a condition to create wealth. All you have to do is focus on your own healthy physical activity, and you create a powerful stream of income that you have full control over. Once we complete all of this, you can blast into the future towards the best and most healthiest version of yourself. Your healthy physical activity can now be the keys to your desired financial reality. Now, one of the absolute best parts of this project is the impact that it has on people's lives around the world. Now, today I invited a very special guest to share their MoveQuest experience with the MoveQuest Nation and the cyber audience out there. This gentleman is a very successful YouTube influencer. He has a very cool and relaxed educational pace in his recorded content. His videos are very helpful and they bring value to everyone who reviews them. Ladies and gentlemen, light up the board with those emojis and give him a cyberspace super Saturday welcome to Colin Meunier. Colin, unmute yourself and do your thing.
Hey, excellent. Thanks for that great introduction. Not sure how much influence, but I do enjoy creating, content that would bring people the most value that I can, especially in great projects such as MoveQuest. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. This is excellent here. Oh, I am from Alberta, Canada too here, by the way, guys. So um, just to share very, very briefly about myself here. I first heard about MoveQuest. Must have been, I guess, back in 2024, shortly, I think that's when it was, right after MoveQuest had launched. Someone was telling about it, showing, I've seen these screenshots and seeing all the nice big green candles just start shooting up. That's when it was. It was a few weeks after it started there. I was like, oh, that's nice. No, sorry. I can't chase green candles. That was me. I'm not chasing green candles. It's one of the things that I really learned in crypto is that. I was like, hey, if this is going to be a great project, I'll just wait. I'll wait for it to retrace. I'll wait for it to come down because that's what's going to happen. And it did. It did happen. I forgot about it actually for a while though, until recently, October of 2025 here. So not too long ago, the price was extremely low. And I'd seen, few comments about MoveQuest. The MQT token is starting to move from the bottom. So I decided to look into it. And as I started to look into it a little bit more, I started to discover more about MoveQuest and started to get more excited about this project. And, I found it was, so I looked into MoveQuest and I started listening to these calls, these recorded Zoom calls with Lynette, and she was explaining a lot of the stuff with this algorithm and different things. And I noticed that the price wasn't crashing even when there was a lot of selling pressure, a lot of selling going on and happening. I was like, oh, look at it. Okay, stabilize. It went up and it's stabilizing. Okay, interesting. Well, why is that? Well, she had built some sort of algorithm in there that I really didn't understand just yet. And, that stabilizes it a little bit more. So I looked more into the project as well, decided to start getting involved with it. Okay, maybe I'll start mining this token. It sounds interesting. And what really catches me is what I find value in any project, especially when the markets are down. That's the best time. I don't, this is one thing that you got to learn is, you don't want to chase green candles. You don't want to chase projects, too much when, the market is pumping, it's getting euphoric, it's getting parabolic, and everyone's excited. You want to be more cautious then. But when the markets are down, people are afraid, And it's very bearish. Okay, well, take a look at things and then take a look at a project. And is there value in there? Is the founder there? Is she active? So Lynette was there. She's active. She's on these Zoom calls. She's here active multiple times per week, it seems like, educating the community, helping out, consistently building. The project's building and it's progressing forward. And there's utility in the token, there's a use case. So I see a lot of value with MoveQuest, and that's what you want to look for. So I get more excited about that. And I dug in, and the more that I learned about MoveQuest and discovered, the hatchery and how that really works, it becomes very exciting and very powerful. And when people really get a hold of that, the power that's within the hatchery and how it's powered by the POPA, how it's powered by consistent submissions, and without the submissions, you got no hatchery, you got no rewards. Everything makes sense. And one of the things that really caught me as well with Lynette is, what she had always mentioned there is the delayed gratification. And those that make money and those that do very well in crypto and in projects like this are those that are builders and those that have patience and that position and just stick around. And delayed gratification will reward you. And those that are looking for the instant gratification end up getting flushed out, right? So that's what I've seen the value in with this. So it's great. Let's leave it.
No, that is absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Colin Meunier, for sharing those words of wisdom. It's super interesting. The other day, Colin put a post in one of the group chats, and he was saying that he was having difficulty getting a post approved on the Facebook channel. So we quickly helped it out. It turns out that the post was stuck in spam. But as soon as that post was released and approved, we took a look at that video that he was having difficulty posting, and wow, what an impression. Very cool, very professional. I like the look. Colin's got this actual, kind of crypto expert, educational, like the the grade school approachable professor that you can get some beautiful, really easy to comprehend information. And that was my feel. He was very easy to understand. I encourage everybody to go check out his channel. Colin, what's the channel called? What is it? Crypto with Colin? Is that what it is?
Yes, it's crypto with Colin. It's crypto activator, actually. You'll find it under the handle crypto activator.
Beautiful. Please share with the audience every handle that you got, exactly how they can find you on YouTube, so that they know exactly where they're going. They're not having any details because Colin lays it out. He really unwraps MoveQuest in a really cool way. And definitely, I encourage you to go check out his videos. You'll get some great value. Colin, what are the ways that they can check out your material?
Primarily on YouTube and Facebook, right? But primarily that's where I put my content is on YouTube. I've been wanting to, build on Instagram. I do have a channel there on Instagram, but I haven't got anything there yet. It's just hard to focus all over the place. And so, I just sort of been sticking just with YouTube primarily.
No, you're doing a fantastic job, and in fact, YouTube's a beautiful place to be. You fit right in with all of the influencers that are doing their thing on YouTube. I'm super impressed, and I know that many of the people who reviewed your content, they love it too. Thank you so much, Colin. I resonate with so much of what you shared with us here today, and I know that the audience got some benefit as well. Thank you so much, and I look forward to having you be part of the Super Saturday event in weeks to come. We
I
really appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, in case you haven't figured it out, the MoveQuest strategy for success is very simple. Everyone can do it. Anyone who has the ability to move, you can have success with this platform. Simply move, submit your proof of physical activity on a daily basis, and receive value for that healthy physical activity while you're having fun doing that, and repeat that activity every single day. Now, for those of you who love what you're taking a look at here today, simply get back with the person who invited you to this conversation. Get the app, get it set up, and get plugged into the community. Become a member of the MoveQuest Nation. Move more, mind more, receive more value, and transform your motion into money. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this super cool, super Saturday afternoon event. We light up this conversation every single week. We light up this event every Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we usually start off with an overview to establish some context for people who are looking at MoveQuest for the very first time. But Saturday is special. We activate an A-player conversation. We take the conversation to a layer, a degree above average for those who are looking to achieve above average success with this project called MoveQuest. Now, that being said, we also light up an overview style conversation on Tuesday and Thursday afternoon at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's a really fast conversation, just like this morning, about 10 to 15 minutes. But afterwards, for those of you who are inviting people, we encourage you to invite new people to take a look at how MoveQuest works. For those of you who invite people and they are ready to take action, we are going to be spending time after these overview events to make ourselves available to give people some start guidance, help them to make those first steps, and see them all the way through as far as they can take it. Now, that being said, it's time to activate. In fact, the better way to say it, it's time to transform this conversation into A-player mode. We are going to shift gears and enter an advanced section of the track. Now, a word of caution, those of you who are new to this conversation, you're going to get a little bit more higher speed of info, a little bit of degree above average. MoveQuest Nation, we got a lot to celebrate today. Today, we have another very special guest. This is one of those moments where you set aside all distractions. Go to a place where you can get laser focused, because it's time to listen. Pull out a pen, get your notebook ready. You want to absorb every detail that you possibly can. Now, it's always an honor to have this woman be part of the Super Saturday A-player conversation. She is one of the earliest investors in Bitcoin, and she's a very successful entrepreneur. Sorry, my screen wasn't changing for some reason. Very successful entrepreneur. You know, many of us saw and heard about Bitcoin in those early days, but many of us did not pull the trigger because many of us didn't know what the heck it was. We were in research mode. But this fearless woman, she took action immediately. In fact, from previous conversations, she let out with us that she had opportunities to get on board with some other powerful projects, such as in the e-commerce realm. I won't specify the exact ones. I'll leave that up to her if she wants to share. But she passed on some of those technologies. So when Bitcoin came around, she said, no, I'm not going to pass on this one. So she took action immediately. So that being said, she's very successful. And she's definitely one of the hardest working women in the world of Web3, digital assets, and blockchain. She is super passionate about decentralization. And one of the coolest things about this woman is that she knows her numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, MoveQuest Nation, multi-set soldiers and max-out warriors, light up the board with those emojis and give a transformational techno welcome for the light paper lioness, Miss Lynette Artin. Lynette, can you unmute yourself and do your thing?
I am here. You know, every time I hear you bring me onto a call, I'm like, oh, I'm really not that special, you guys. I'm just like everybody else. It's just common sense. I just happen to be in crypto since, you know, Bitcoin got started. Like literally Bitcoin was not even a penny. I almost didn't buy it either. The only reason I did, a friend of mine was always trying to get me to buy into these different stocks, you know, these IPOs. But I already brought, it was Google first. And I remember looking at him going, what the hell is a Google? No, I ain't buying anything called Google. Are you kidding me? I didn't buy it. And then, it comes back later, it was Yahoo. I'm like, Yahoo, no, I'm not buying that one either. And then it was Apple and Facebook, and I still wasn't jumping in on that bandwagon. Then he comes to me and goes, okay, I know you're never going to listen to me, but do yourself a favor and just go buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. It was under a penny. But to tell you how, little anybody knew back then, I've got my old Acer, before I even moved to a MacBook, computer. I was sitting at the dining room table. Now, mind you guys, this was like over 1,200 Bitcoin that I had back then. And we had a massive storm come through, and my computer, it sparked and started to smoke, but we had a power surge that had come through, and it fried my computer. And, I've been told, oh, you never know. We probably can get him out of there, blah, blah, blah. So this computer is still sitting in my house, trailing along with me everywhere I go since 2009, literally, is when that happened. It is the first time I ever listened to that man, a really good friend of mine, and it completely didn't work out for me. Why? Because I didn't really take the time to make sure that Bitcoin was secure. But that being said, I have continuously been buying, crypto since that time. I started buying Ethereum when it was 55 cents. And I bought a lot of Bitcoin after that, at the lower prices, but, not too many people can say they got it under a penny. And whether I'll ever get that out or not, I don't know. But I know I'm rich inside that computer, like filthy rich. But anyway, that's keep going on with that story. But crypto is an amazing space, okay, and it's life changing. And I have so many people, bankers, and I'm with a couple of different banks. The one is a credit union. They absolutely hate crypto everywhere inside that credit union. Bitcoin is a scam. Crypto is a scam. And I just went like head to head with one of their top people there on that same issue and told her, I quit banking with you guys. I'm not going to bank with you. Yeah, my account's open, but I'm not putting any money in there until you take down those crazy, stupid signs. Crypto is not a scam, but there are projects that scam you, okay? Because these project creators, first of all, I'm going to tell you, it takes a lot of money to do a crypto project the right way, right? To get it set up. And not everybody has got the advantage that MoveQuest has to have somebody like Waleed, who is as vested in building this project as I am, and as all of you are for being here. So I've worked with Waleed, since 2014. So I trust him, 1,000%. There's not a little piece of me that doesn't trust him. And he's calm. I'm not. I get stressed and he can get stressed, but he can sit on it and I have to jump all around and make everybody's life miserable when I'm stressed. So we work really well together because he can put up with me. And I need somebody like that, right? Who can put up with me because I am a perfectionist and everything has to be done right. And I've been in the crypto space long enough. I'll be honest with you, I was in the pet industry for 25 years. I was going to be a big shot lawyer. Okay, that was my dream. I've always got to be the biggest and the best. So back then I was going to be the baddest ass lawyer, work for a big corporate firm, be a partner and all this, right? But God had a different plan for me and I had 4 children instead. And so I had to, that went by the wayside. And the pet industry was great for me as a single mom because I always had cash in my pocket. A lot of people pay cash. You go in, get your dog's haircut done, you leave $25, $30 in cash, and so I could be broke as a joke, but I always had cash in my pocket. So it was always, it was a good thing for me then. And after 25 years of doing that, I retired in my 40s and I was bored as heck. So what do? I started playing online, with the internet and researching and doing a lot of, playing with the crypto. And one thing I got, kind of, I don't know how to put it, but into the networking arena. There's a lot of scam there too. And, not ever doing any kind of multi-level marketing or anything like that in the past, I didn't know, hadn't even heard what a Ponzi scheme was back then, but you learn real quick, right? I'm a go-getter. I'm somebody that talks to people all the time. I'm not shy in the least. And when I would get involved in some of these networking companies, the people that would bring me into it would just you'd never hear from them again. And you spend money, right? So I don't like to spend money if it's not going to make money for me. And so I would start trying to break things down and understand them. And then I would start working with people they had brought in. And before you know it, now I am what they would have considered a builder. But when I realized that I didn't really understand what those dynamics were for a Ponzi scheme at the time, I learned real quick. And I quit doing any kind of networking like that. And I just really stuck with crypto and buying crypto that were on blockchains. I don't feel comfortable getting involved with 99% of the projects because they don't last, because they don't build them right. But I really started to research the crypto space. Why are all of these projects failing? What is it that the SEC is looking for? Why is it that they call these multi-level marketing companies project schemes? And, what is the reason? And I really pretty much educated myself, and I started, researching white papers, and I started working with other project creators and assisting them on writing their white papers. And I would even tell them, look, this project, you're paying me to describe what this project is on paper, but I'm telling you, this is not going to work. Well, you don't understand crypto. I'm like, trust me, I'm getting and I understand it better than you do. Your project won't last. And I'm going to tell you right now, every single one of those projects are gone today. They didn't last more than 3 to 6 months, maybe some of them a year. And you know what they did? They popped right up with another one. And, a different concept, but the same setup, different look, but the same setup. Guess what? They're not here. And I can tell you, like, to this day, I still get, hey, I want to talk to you about this project. I'm like, what is this, number 5 or 6? And what happened to the other ones? Have you changed what you're doing yet? Have you looked at MoveQuest so you can use it as a guide? And here's the bottom line. You need a project to be self-sustaining. It's got to have an ecosystem. The token has got to have utility. And it's got to have a real world use case. So what does MoveQuest solve? It solves the health and wellness problem. And I'm telling you, it does, really. We've got testimony after testimony, hundreds of them. And I'm one of them myself because I am not a gym bum. I am not going to go to the gym. I am not going to sweat. I'm not going to ride on these bikes and lift weights and, do all this crazy stuff even though it's healthy for me. I'm not going to do it. I've always said I'm going to do it and I never do it. But I'll tell you what I do. I look at my fitness tracker and I make sure I'm getting my steps in, even if I have to run in place. I've gone and bought, 5, 10 pound weights and now I use those. I have the ankle weights. Now I use those. And making sure that I'm getting that healthy sleep that I need, even if it is only 4 to 6 hours, at a time. And I am healthier today. I'm 58 years old. I'm better balanced today. I even have those apps that tell me what my real age is compared to what my healthy age is compared to what my actual age is. And it's got me 8 years younger than I actually am. I'm like, whew, I love that. So the proof is that you just need to move more. And people love motivation. What better way to motivate somebody than through crypto? Crypto is where everybody needs to learn. You've got to be a part of it because I'm telling you, crypto is going to be intertwined with everything you do at some point. It already is. And the proof of that is that your banks and your, financial institutions are already getting there. Some of them aren't there all the way, but they're in that process. Wells Fargo is building their own blockchain as an example. And there's other banking institutions that are also doing this. You've got your futures that's being traded. I mean, it's here and it's not going away. And it's not a scam. Okay. And you have to be careful of what you get involved in. So what I hope with MoveQuest is that, one, it motivates people to learn crypto. Is MoveQuest complex? It's got a lot of moving parts, but it needs those moving parts for it to sustain itself, for it to be a legitimate crypto project. The best part, I think, of MoveQuest is that one, we deliver and we are transparent and we are here and we're upfront and we do teach and educate. And we've made it possible for everybody to get started without risking any capital. All you have to do is claim your phantom miners and make sure you can submit your proof of physical activity to the blockchain. MoveQuest doesn't rely on new money. MoveQuest doesn't rely on new investors. We're at a stage of, after 4.5 years of development where we're building our community. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't say we need new money. That says we need that engaged peer-to-peer community that every crypto project does. The more people engaged in the community, the more stable the project is. But proof is, like what Colin was saying, even when the markets are taking a dip right now, MoveQuest stays steady or it increases in market value. We only have now 178,000 MoveQuest tokens in circulation. And it is complex to a degree that you have to, one, you've got to have a fitness tracker or you have to have a smartphone. You've got to be able to connect Health Connect, Google Fit, or Samsung Health, or whatever Fitbit uses, and Bluetooth it, to your phone, that fitness tracker to your phone. You've got to, if you're Apple, got to be able to connect Apple Health. Then you've got to be able to, give the proper permissions inside the MoveQuest app. You've got to be able to set up a DApp wallet. You've got to be able to fund your wallet with some crypto. And that just takes getting verified either on Coinbase or something like that, one of those markets where you can buy that crypto to get started the first time. But after that, once you get inside that crypto landscape, the hard part's over. And then you just have to do your due diligence and you just have to have a basic understanding of crypto. And I'm going to tell you that when you're done, and you're fully set up with MoveQuest and you start coming to these Zoom presentations, or if you use the Bullish Moon training, Colin's got training on his YouTube site. I'm very impressed with Colin's presentation of MoveQuest because I remember the Zoom call when he was asking some questions and we were kind of like, is this like a legitimate person or what's going on here? Because we weren't quite sure what was going on with the questions. And then somebody had popped his video into WhatsApp the other day, a couple days ago. He's got, I believe, 9 videos there. I watched every single one of them. And I love the way he explains MoveQuest. He took the time to go and research it. He took the time to understand it. And he took the time to give each portion, basically an explanation for people who are involved in MoveQuest, who are looking at MoveQuest. And then he pretty much explains why each one of these features that he talks about are there. And he breaks it down so even the person who's new to crypto could understand it. And that's hard to do. I myself, the creator of the project, the concept of MoveQuest, have a hard time breaking it down as well as he did. Those are people who are hard to find in the space so that a person actually can understand it when you're done talking about it, instead of like me, make people scratch their head and wonder, what the hell did she just say, kind of thing. I know I do that to you guys all the time. And so I was very happy, when I heard his videos and his explanation on it. So if you do a little bit of your due diligence, you will have a pretty good understanding of, crypto. And my goal with MoveQuest, one, is that people become their healthiest versions of themselves. They understand crypto in a way that they get it. This is not a get rich quick scheme. If you want those, they're out there. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose your money. And if you do, you only have yourself to blame. Because I do believe that now there are enough people that have tried to explain to people what doesn't work in crypto, that if you do your due diligence, as every responsible adult should before you invest money in something, you should know well enough what not to get into. But people fall for that hype all the time. I'm not a hypey person. I never have been. I don't want to talk somebody into MoveQuest. I want you to understand it and be excited to be a part of it, and understand that, it's a commitment to your health and it's a commitment to building that long-term wealth. We're a new project. after 4.5 years of development, we haven't spent crazy money to market. And we don't ask the community to provide the liquidity because that's built into the ecosystem. And we have done this and still been able to stabilize that liquidity pool, the MoveQuest market value with a couple thousand people in our community. Imagine what it's going to be like when there's 10,000 people and 25,000 people, 100,000 people, 1,000,000 people involved in MoveQuest. When will that happen? Who knows? But that's what a solid project always looks forward to, right? Are those building up that community and sharing that project so you can be a part of something that's real. And I can tell you 100% assurance that MoveQuest has been built methodically, very carefully, with precision, with much research, and with the community in mind, so that everybody here can get started with no cost out of pocket. We don't want you to break the bank. We want you to get involved in MoveQuest where you're comfortable. And we give you all the tools you need so that you can expand on your mining power and build up your arsenal of miners, so that you can mine even more MoveQuest. We always try to do everything we can to make it easier on the community, but we're not easy, okay? Easy is listening to hype, throwing a bunch of money at something. Hopefully you get lucky, you exit at the right time, and you can take a pile of money out. That almost never happens, but that is easy, okay? That doesn't take a whole lot of anything but money. This, you have to learn crypto. You have to have a basic understanding of it. And the proof of physical activity, you have to move, right? It's the more you move, the more you mine. The healthier you become, the more MoveQuest you're mining. And then, of course, if you are engaged with the hatcheries, if you are submitting that proof of physical activity and you have MoveQuest in one of the hatcheries, then you're also farming the MoveQuest. People from the outside can't just buy MoveQuest and deposit it and, get a return on their MoveQuest investment. Okay, you have to be a miner. You have to be mining and you have to submit that proof of physical activity in order to farm those MoveQuests in the hatchery. So we have everything you could possibly want here and upcoming: the MoveQuest blockchain, the MQT Pay wallet. We've got more gamification coming. We probably will be building MoveQuest for several years to come, because if you see my list of things, we take them in blocks, right? Our first 4-year roadmap done, with the exception of challenges that we're currently working on, and then the leasing piece is done. Then our 4-year roadmap, first one, is completed. We're already working on roadmap 2.0. Obviously, you guys know, is the blockchain and the MQT Pay wallet and gamifications, like where your mining wallet is going to be an NFT avatar, and it's got other gamification features and stuff like that within the app. We got a lot of stuff like that coming. Today, so was it today? Way early into the morning, Apple validated our latest update yesterday, late in the day, and then Android did real early morning. We did deploy that update, but we had to roll it back because there were some issues with the gas fees. Okay, it wasn't optimized or wasn't working as properly as what we wanted it to work. And so we rolled back that update, and Waleed is, working on that gas fee issue, and then we'll be redeploying that. I would assume that you guys will see that update at some point in time today or into the evening. And what that update is being able to use USDT, USDC, or AVAX for your submissions. Now, if you bought AVAX higher, then your AVAX has, dropped because AVAX has gone down. Your market value or the balance in your wallet is not as high as what it was. You still have the same amount of AVAX, but that AVAX has a different value. So, for example, if you bought one AVAX at $20 and now it's $9, 6 months ago you had a balance of $20. Today you'd have a balance of about $9, okay, because it's down. You still have the same amount of AVAX, but the dollar value has decreased. Those of you that bought it low, as it goes back up, that's a good thing, right? Because if you have one AVAX at $9 and it goes up to 20, you made $11. And so that's how, crypto works. But you can avoid that now just by submitting with USDC or USDT. So as soon as that update is deployed, that will be in place. The Q chip matching value on your submission. So if you're submitting, let's say with 18 Titans and that costs $7.40 or whatever it is a day, you're going to get $7.40 worth of Q chips each day. Trailblazers, if it's, one Trailblazer submission is 10 cents, you're going to get one Q chip because Q chips internally have a 10-cent market value. And those are ERC20 tokens. We don't have a date of when they'd be listed right now. The purpose of the Q chip is for minting the Trailblazer and the Explorer miners. So I do need to correct myself in how I was explaining commission, the direct commission on Trailblazers and Explorers, just so everybody understands this. And, I knew this, and why I didn't relay it properly, I don't know. Sometimes I get brain fog too. I got so much going on because I work on, different groups of people, and there's a couple of companies. And so we keep talking about, when they mint the Trailblazer, what is their commission? But really it's when you buy the Q chip. It's not when you mint the miners. You need the Q chip to mint the Trailblazers and the Explorers, but the commissions are not connected to the miners. It's actually when the Q chips are purchased, even prior to the minting of those miners. So if somebody was going to mint 18 Trailblazers, they would need to buy 18, I think it's 18,000 Q chips, right? For those miners. You would get that $900, that 50% commission at the time the Q chip was purchased. So, and you would get that in AVAX because that's how you purchase the Q chip. So I just want to make that correction there. There are no commissions connected to the miners at all. It's when that Q chip purchase from the store is made or on the pay as you go. So that is kind of a big deal. Because if people are waiting for a commission when somebody mints a miner and they didn't understand that it's actually on the Q chip. So I really confused people with that the other day, including myself. And I got corrected on that yesterday. And I wanted to make sure you guys know that. Also in this update, hold on here. I got to send that voicemail. Sorry, guys. Also in this update are the commissions on, the proof of physical activity. If I shared MoveQuest with Hayden and he submitted on a 135-day cycle, 120 days, he's going to get 4 Navigator miners on the Avalanche blockchain and on the MoveQuest blockchain. And as the person who shared MoveQuest with Hayden, if I also mine 120 days out of 135, I too am going to get 4 Navigator miners on the MoveQuest blockchain and on the Avalanche blockchain. Now, when we deploy the other blockchains, you'll be able to choose which blockchain you want those miners on, of the 2 blockchains. So this will be an ongoing promotion. We're always wanting to do things that allow people to be able to mine if they can't really afford to buy the miners. Therefore, like I said, the Phantom miners are free. You can use them and mine with them. They're equal to a Trailblazer, except they don't have element bonuses, they don't have attribute bonuses, and they don't have intensity bonuses on your steps. They're just flat out 100% volts mining power. And if at the end of 135 days and your Phantom expires and you still don't have or can't afford to mint your own miners, one, you can lease them, or all you have to do is create another wallet, a new wallet, and claim 18 more Phantom miners and continue to mine. And why do we tell you this? Because it's not about purchasing those miners that makes MoveQuest sustainable. It's about the engagement within the ecosystem. So even if you're using a phantom miner for 135 days, you're still submitting that proof of physical activity. And that proof of physical activity, that submission fee, it's the liquidity. Okay. It's that engagement within the ecosystem that's fueling that liquidity pool. And that's, the ecosystem itself powers it. When you buy Q chips, that's part of liquidity. When you evolve to higher powered miners, that's sustaining the ecosystem and providing more liquidity. But all those outside pieces, that is more like overflow liquidity. Okay. That can be, especially as we continue to grow and the community enlarges or gets bigger, you'll start to see that overflow within the liquidity pool. And that's where a lot of those other features within the ecosystem play a big role. So now I was planning on just talking, Hayden, for like 5 minutes with just these updates, but there you go. Sometimes you just never know how long I'm gonna yap
That's
along.
okay. That's all right, Lynette. It's always welcome. In fact, anything else you got to share, please, by all means. You know what I mean? This is an amazing forum. People are out here and they just adore all the information that you have to share with us.
No, I think I about gave you what I needed to today. I'm glad everybody was, understand. Last night we got hit with a major storm and lost our power. And boy, I hate that when that happens. And of course, I didn't have anything charged up and this craziness. So here we are today. You guys got the update. And hopefully all of it makes sense. What I'm talking about. And if it doesn't, trust me, it will. Light bulb will go on eventually.
Oh, absolutely. You just unleashed a whole bunch of value. The more you hear it, the more it makes a lot more sense, especially the direct referral incentives that are in place. There is so much value on the table for everybody who's participating, and just even sharing a slight bit is going to bring so much value to your project and your experience. So well done. Lynette, wow. Thank you so much for being part of today's Super Saturday conversation. Aside from the obvious digital assets and financial and health opportunity, the education that you receive through MoveQuest is a hidden gem. And the special and cool people that you make connections with, man, absolutely priceless. I'm certain that I speak for the entire MoveQuest nation. Thank you, Lynette, for the work that you do and for designing MoveQuest with so much integrity and for designing MoveQuest the right way. We truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. So that being said, we're going to keep the conversation going here today. You know what? Like I mentioned earlier today, we got a lot to actually celebrate. We had two extraordinary personalities share their MoveQuest experience with us today. Lynette gave you some insights to her early world as an entrepreneur. Colin just unleashed exactly what he saw within MoveQuest and how he methodically took action towards it and is working for him in a big way. So we encourage you to take action. Those of you who are already involved, I know you can actually stretch yourself and see more value in places that you can take advantage of. MoveQuest is dynamic, and we only touched the tip of the iceberg. We're talking the hatchery. We already mentioned the Q chips. There are so many super cool nooks and crannies within MoveQuest to take action with and increase the firepower that you're working with. And that being said, we want to wrap up today's event to just bring to your attention, bring to your awareness some of the value that is on the table that can go away anytime. Time is running out. There are actually 5 high value promotions that are on the desk right now. So I encourage you all to take action towards it immediately. We're not going to go into details with all of them. We're just going to list them out and mention them so you can investigate afterwards. Just ask the person who invited you to this conversation here today anything that you want more information on. So the first on the list is the Phantom Virtual Mining feature at 100% mining power. Are you kidding me? Lynette just mentioned it is identical to the Trailblazer. You can get started for $0 value. And man, it's that can be modified. The Phantom is set to 100%. We might run a promo where the Phantom is 200%. You never know. But it could also be reduced to 50%. So take action right now while it's 100% mining power. $0 value, and you can mine with 18 of them. Are you kidding me? Number 2 on the list, $80 dock slot activation. That's going up to $100 per dock slot. Take advantage of that immediately. The complimentary NFT promo that when you unlock a dock slot, you get an NFT with that, a $50 navigator. And this is a perfect example of how you need to act fast. Just a few weeks ago, that was a trailblazer. A complimentary $100 value trailblazer mining at 100%. That promo ended, and now it's a navigator, but this one's not going to be around for a long time either. This is going to go away. So take advantage of that immediately. And part of that involves number 4.
Oh, hey, I have to interrupt you because that goes away
Sure.
today. As soon as this update is deployed,
There you go.
you do not get a navigator with the mining dock slots, and the dock slots do increase to their new price of $100 that I've been telling you guys about. I forgot to put that in the update list. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
There
that's
you go.
gone
No,
today.
that is a worthy reason to interrupt. You know, you heard it right from the creator and the designer and the developer. These 2 promos are going, in fact, these 3 promos are going away. The $80 dock slot is going up to $100. Take action now. Now, don't waste time. You are going to kick yourself for not taking that value that's on the table. But even if you miss it, don't worry. This project is so powerful, it's going to come back to you 100 times. And if you do it right, even 1000x gains are possible with this platform. So don't worry, we'll make it work out for you no matter what level you get started at. But the window is open still. Take action now. This is the time to do it. It doesn't even take long. We're talking a few minutes of activity with a friend. And trust me, you're going to be lit up, activating your MetaMask wallet, you know, and writing down your seed phrase. Man, a whole world of possibilities, not just for MoveQuest. Once you activate your wallet, you can get yourself some Bitcoin. You can get yourself some Ethereum. The world is changing. This is the time to take action with digital assets the right way right now. So a part of that promo that's going away is a 2-for-1. You can even unlock one dock slot for $80 today and receive 2 navigators. One for the dock slot number 2 that you opened, and the second one for the unlocked dock slot that is number 1. Dock slot number 1 comes already open as an inclusive feature built into MoveQuest to make sure everyone has an opportunity to begin with $0 purchase value. Okay, so by unlocking dock slot number 2 for $80 today, you can trigger 2 navigators and receive $100 worth of value for $80. Actually $180 to be honest with you. In fact, it's $200 because the dock slot is actually valued at $100 and you're receiving 2 navigators. So that's $200 worth of value for unlocking one $80 dock slot. Take action today. You know, they say procrastination is a killer of success. Multi-chain mining expansion promo that is taking place right now, and it has time running out embedded inside of it. Right now, the higher amount of mining, we encourage you to mine with the highest amount of mining power possible, because the higher amount of mining power that you're mining with, the more MQT you will receive for the same healthy physical activity. Now, this multi-chain mining power challenge, we're going to expand on it a little bit here. Phase 1 is on, but it's closed. But it's worthy of celebration for those of you who took action. I know many of you are doing your happy dance right now because we are literally on day number 85. For those of you who have been consistently submitting proof of physical activity since day 1, we are on day number 85, 5 more days, and you win. We're going to explain a little bit more about that in just one quick second. But phase 2 is open for those of you who missed out on phase 1. You can still receive big value with this multi-chain mining challenge. 40% of the lowest amount of mining power that you're mining with right now. You can scale your mining power across 6 chains as part of a multi-chain expansion that's taking place right now. All you got to do is be consistent, submitting your healthy physical activity every single day for 60 days. 60 days out of, I think, 67 days that are left. So you got 7 days that you could miss potentially if you started today. But as long as you do 60 days straight, you win. Like I said, we are on day number 85 of 152 days. And all you got to do is be consistent for 90 days. Those of you who caught phase one, 60 days for those of you who are there right now. And there's even a 30-day option to get 15%, which is still big. This is an opportunity to scale your mining possibilities. This promo began on December the 13th, 2025, and is ending May the 13th, 2026. MoveQuest is expanding to 6 different blockchains. We are currently on the Avalanche blockchain. We are expanding to Binance. We're actually just cleaning up what's going on over by Binance anyways, but we'll be officially on Binance the same way we are right now on Avalanche, Solana, our very own MoveQuest blockchain, Arbitrum, and Polygon. Now, for those of you who are learning about this for the very first time right now, what this involves is, as of December the 13th, 2025, all MoveQuest participants who submit proof of physical activity consistently for 90, 60, or 152 days, or 30 days out of the 152 days beyond December the 13th, you will receive the matching amount of the lowest amount of mining power. Those of you who did the 90, those of you who did the 60 or doing the 60 will receive 40% of the lowest amount of mining power that you mined with over the 90 or 60 days. And that's for all of the 5 blockchains that MoveQuest expands to. It's an opportunity to scale your mining power across 6 chains. Look at it this way. It's kind of like having 6 watches, 6 devices. But instead of having 6 phones and 6 watches on one blockchain, you can actually have 1 phone, 1 watch, and mine on 6 blockchains. Now, I don't know about you all, but when I look at my watches, I see this. This is what I see when I look at my watches. Shout outs to the multi-set soldiers and the multi-watch warriors out there. You know exactly what you're achieving by mining with multiple sets and then scaling those multiple sets across 6 chains. Are you kidding me? Like I said, for those of you who get started, it might not be that practical to have multiple sets, but you can actually achieve the same result right now by taking action and have 1 phone, 1 watch, and mine on 6 separate chains. Very cool stuff. Now, for those of you who intend to share and empower other people, and you want to build up some strategies to have some empowering conversations with the people who you're sharing MoveQuest with, we light up a powerful conversation on Monday night at, it says 7 p.m. there, but it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we light up a conversation that helps people to share the value of MoveQuest to others. And we discuss some strategies that work with regards to bringing this value to the lives of other people. And once again, on Tuesday afternoon, we light up an overview style conversation. It's only about 10 to 15 minutes. And then afterwards, we stick around to help anyone who's ready get some guidance with regards to how to get started with MoveQuest. So that about wraps up this edition of the Super Saturday event. Make sure that you check out the Crypto with Colin YouTube channel. Also, remember to take your time when you're doing digital asset transactions, especially when you're confirming transactions, especially when you're granting permissions. Like I said earlier, you got to do the right things to get the right results, and you also got to do the right things to avoid disaster. Okay, read the confirmation page carefully and double check transactions, the wallet addresses that you're sending digital assets to. Okay, double check, even triple check. And even maybe do a test transaction before you do the larger amount. And that's some advice that I give to myself first before I give to anyone else, whether you're experienced or inexperienced. Transaction requests from MoveQuest will always say request from MoveQuest.com. Read that very carefully. Anytime you see a transaction request, make sure it says it's from MoveQuest.com. Now, lastly, remember, transformation begins from within. Transform the way that you think, and you'll transform the results that you experience in life. You see, thoughts are like seeds, and the subconscious mind is like fertile soil. 95% of the results that grow and appear in your life are produced by the activity of your subconscious mind. Just like a pepper seed will not produce an apple tree, and an apple seed will not produce a watermelon. Your thought seeds combined with your subconscious mind and its fertile soil, it works the same. So make sure that you plant positive seeds that are aligned with your life goals. And beware of negative seeds in the form of internal and external negative self-talk. The legendary martial artist Bruce Lee said it best when he said, "Words are like magic. That's why they call it spelling." And one of my favorite quotes from the legend himself, Mr. Earl Nightingale, "We become what we think about most of the time." It's as simple as that. This is Hayden Andre, your friendly neighborhood digital asset investor, ending the transmission for the day. It's time for me to go activate machine mode and crush the rest of my steps for the day. And then I'm going to get back to work on achieving some big goals. Follow MoveQuest on social media. My personal Instagram and TikTok handle is hayden.mq. Take care, and as always, choose success. Have a powerful rest of your day. Level up and max out. Peace.
Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. Empty promises, same suit, same tie, shake hands on camera. Then shrug when we cry, they print favors. Repaying time, scrolling through headlines while they rewrite the crime. I'm tired of begging for a seat at the table. Hands in our pockets, we're calling a stable. If truth is a number that they can't revise, then let it be code that they can't privatize. Empty promises, nothing but lies. I thought she made it for people to rise. Blocks on the chain, remember the prize. Line by line, we reclaim our lives. Nothing but lies. I thought she made it for people to rise. Blocks on the chain, remember the prize. Line by line, we reclaim our lives. Yeah, 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 yeah. They love that keeps us on leashes. Change rules overnight. Call the theft easy. But here's one legend they can't erase. Every tick, every trade stamped in its place. I'm done with pretending they got our future, when every new crisis just fattens the ruler. If power is numbers they can't centralize, let it be ours, let it be digitized. Empty promises, nothing but lies. Something she made it for people to rise. Blocks on the chain, remember the prize. Line by line, we reclaim our lives. Nothing but lies. Something she made it for people to rise. Blocks on the chain, remember the prize. Line by line, we reclaim our lives. We reclaim our lives. We reclaim our lives. We reclaim our lives. Home to the cold key stash, from the broken stacking to the old guard cash. Every peer, every node is a never again. We don't need their permission for our money to send. Empty promise.